Genesis 27 verse 41, and it reads, "And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob." First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to our Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai, whom the world ignorantly called Jesus. To the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our forefathers. Double honors to the elders, the bishops, and the apostles of the great millstone, the one who taught me this truth, 100% truth according to the Bible. Peace and salutations to all the hopeful elect scattered abroad of the 12 tribes. This article is based from RT News. It says, European king apologizes for slavery. The Dutch monarch William Alexander said that the exploitation of people in colonial times were crimes against humanity. King William Alexander of the Netherlands has marked the 160th anniversary of his country's official abolition of slavery by issuing an historic apology for the Dutch involvement in the trade. On this day, we remember the Dutch history of slavery. William Alexander told a crowd on Saturday at the National Slavery Monument in Amsterdam, "I ask for forgiveness for this crime against humanity." The king noted that Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte had apologized for the country's 250-year role in slavery last December. "Today I stand before you, today, as your king, and as a member of the government, I make this apology myself, and I feel the weight of the words in my heart and my soul." You can keep your apology. You can keep your apology. 250 years plus for their role in slavery. These people made millions and billions in today's value. All the generational wealth. To this day, countries are still enslaved, paying tributary to these people. You know? And they will go before a crowd and say, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." What does that mean? Really, what does that mean? All the wickedness they've done. Zechariah 11, verse 5. "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." Yes. That is that's what you are, guilty. Those are crimes against humanity. You said in your own words, those are your words, not mine. But it says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich." These guys made millions and billions of dollars in the various slave trades. All the wickedness they have done, you know. And this is it. Because you're before a crowd, you issue a so-called apology. The next paragraph says, "A government commission study released last month found that the Dutch royal house of Orange reaped the modern-day equivalent of about $600 million in profits from slavery from 1675 to 1770. Much as that wealth was given to the monarchy through the Dutch East India Company. Still have it, right? Late last year, the Royal House commissioned a more extensive probe of the royal family's role in the Dutch colonial history. William Alexander said that racism remains a problem in the Netherlands. He added, however, the times have changed, and the chains have truly been broken. All lip service. It's all lip service. You know, it's like at this point it's actually very comical. You sit there, you address a crowd of people acknowledging that it's a crime against humanity, and yet there's no accountability. This is why it says, they says, and hold themselves not guilty, and they that seldom say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. They all benefit from it. They all pass down generational wealth to all their families. You know? And an apology is supposed to suffice. Proverbs 20:17 says, bread of deceit is sweet to a man, but afterwards his mouth shall be filled with gravel. This is what that is. Pure nonsense. Book of Psalms 17 verse 14. From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of this world, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life, whose belly thou filleth with thy hid treasure, and they are full of children. And here's the point as well. And leave the rest of their substance to their babes. They pass it on, the generational wealth, to all their families, and this wealth continues. And what is suited to these guys is to issue a lip service apology. Keep your apology, because the next step is slavery. Keep your apologies. You know, what does that do? What does that do? Nothing. It does absolutely nothing. You know, the book of Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 8, it says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Man. Let that sink in for a moment. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. This is how these people got rich. They stole the riches. They stole the riches. They stole lands. They covet fields with violence. Many, many, many people perish in the hands of all this wickedness. Verse 9. Why is the earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such one setteth his own soul for sale, because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Enjoy your riches. This is your portion in this life. The next stop is slavery. Yes, it's slavery. This is Revelation, the book of Revelation 13 verse 10 says this: he that leaveth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience of the saints. You ask yourself, who are the saints? The saints are the Israelites. Saints are the Israelites, you know. Most High is not unrighteous to forget our works. You know, we're suffering. Psalms, the book of Psalms 50, verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that made a covenant with me by sacrifice. The Israelites are the only nation that the Most High has showed his laws, statutes, and commandments. Yes, we are his saints. We are the saints of the Most High. Only Israel. Only Israel. Israel is the Lord's portion, the apple of his eye. If these people can hurt, the Lord says, touch not my anointed. These people can do all these vile acts to the Israelites. They haven't been judged yet. They have not been judged yet. Psalms 148, verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. That is the Lord's portion. If these guys think that an apology will suffice, they are sadly mistaken. The Dutch monarchy for over 250 years did a lot of atrocities, a lot of wickedness, and has never been held accountable. Goes back to even King Leopold II and all the wickedness he's done and how the Dutch had made a lot of their wealth. It says, look, I don't want to read this point here because I don't want to be censored or silenced or have my video removed, because a lot of my stuff that I'm putting out there, it's being shadow banned already. I don't have a big platform. This message is for who is intended for. But this is it, King Leopold. The relentless pursuit of profits in the Congo by King Leopold II resulted in one of the worst levels of moral decadence for mankind. The colony in the Congo. The Congo Free State was personal property for the Belgian king, and there was little oversight over what happened there. They hold themselves not accountable. Basically, he had the free reign to do all the wickedness. Here's the thing. King Leopold committed heinous atrocities in the name of chasing profits and raising the prestige of Belgium. Didn't our King Alexander, that was his name? Yep. Then our King Alexander apologized for this stuff. King Leopold committed heinous atrocities in the name of chasing profits and raising the prestige of Belgium. The genocide of the Congo is one of the most forgotten pieces of history. Forgotten to some because they want to be forgotten. They want it to be forgotten. But the damage has been long-lasting. From 1885 to 1908, the Congo Free State, under the personal rule of King Leopold, was living hell. It was heaven for them, hell for the Israelites. Man. It has been estimated over 10 million people died by the hands of King Leopold. You ask most people today, they probably never even heard of this guy. They never even heard of this guy. This is wickedness at its highest. Call themselves kings of the earth. They call themselves kings and they feel they're untouchable. And a few words. Look at that. King Leopold had free reign. Nothing was being done to him. None of them ever had any form of accountability other than lip service, other than words. But here's what's going to happen to a lot of these guys. Revelation 6 verse 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, Yes, because they all have because they all have slaves working for them even to this day, and every free man hid themselves in the dens of the rocks. Sorry, hid themselves in the dens in the rocks of the mountains. You're asking yourself why, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. This is payback. Riches profit not in the day of wrath. If the apple of the Lord's eyes, is going through all these punishments, including modern day, we are still under the curses in Deuteronomy. If we're going through all of this stuff, and they think the Lord has not judged these nations yet, what do you think is going to happen to them? What do you think is going to happen? The Lord says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You know? Of all this stuff that these people have done, all these atrocities, King Leopold and now King Alexander call themselves kings. So the scramble from Africa by European countries was an intense one, and Belgium, under the monarchical rule of King Leopold, did not want to be left out. Leopold has always been of the view in order to raise the prestige of Belgium higher, thus raising the status of the country. It was necessary to acquire colonial empire from the Far East or in Africa. The concept of acquiring a colony was not popular with the Belgian politicians and the public. It was considered an unnecessary venture that would add little value to the country. The reluctance of the politicians to accept an adventure towards acquiring colonies would not deter Leopold from getting a colony of his choice. Zero accountability. He was mightier than thou. He didn't care. So it got to a point where, actually, let me show you some images here. A lot of these guys were. Let me see right here. Okay, so here we go. The dramatic increase in the demand for rubber and was music to Leopold's ears. At the time, the Congo was one of the places in the world with a vast supply for wild rubber. The focus was immediately turned towards the extraction of wild rubber. They used local people as cheap labor, and the gruesome brutality came with the extraction of rubber remains one of the darkest chapters of the history of Africa. Congolese males were forced into rubber extraction to export to Europe or North America. Between 1895 and 1900, exports surged from 580 to 3,740 tons. So they were, look at this. They were posing with the Congolese people, Israelites, that they were not producing according to them because of their greed and their profits. But they were not producing enough the wild rubber. They were not producing enough product. They were not producing enough. So what they were doing were killing them. They were raping the people. They were also amputating their hands. I just want to find something here. Here we go. This is the point. Rubber quotas were imposed on villages, and the force publique was called in to enforce the quotas. This is their militia, which were unrealistic to fill. See that? Unrealistic to fill, but they were still doing it. Failure to meet these quotas was punished by violence and death. Okay? Was punishable by violence and death. The force publique would destroy villages, rape women, and take hostages, torture and extort the people. Men could not fill their quotas, would be mutilated and or killed. At times, whole villages that could not fill their quotas would be burned down and to the ground, and as a lesson for other villages, women and children will be taken hostage until the men fill their designated quotas. Women would be raped. There is no amount of apology that can suffice. There is no amount of apology. This king Alexander said he's sorry, right? They're sorry, but yet you go to these places today, still in the tuck shops, still in the stores, still in the museums, they were amputating people's hands. And right now, to this present day, modern day, they're still selling these chocolates. Look at this, okay? Look at this. Chocolate candy hands still hold, it's still sold in Belgium, despite the Congo genocide of King Leopold. This is a sorry. This is a sorry. If these people were genuinely sorry, there would have been so much would have been done. Reparations. They would have been in jail. Somebody would be held accountable. All that money, all that wealth should have been transferred. But don't worry, it is coming, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. The kingdom shall be translated from one people to another. We got next. This is wickedness. Look at this today. Chocolates are being sold. You ask the average person, they have no clue of the history of this. Because why? This was a hidden history that they didn't want anybody to know about. You know? Wickedness. But don't worry. The Israelites are being gathered today by the preaching and hearing of this word. The Most High is putting together his elect, the tabernacle of David, for the real future kings and priests for the kingdom. The real, right? There's, right now, a lot of these people have these self-proclaimed titles. It's pure wickedness. It's, bear with me for 1 second here. Okay. Book of Ecclesiastes 10 verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Next verse. Folly is set in great dignity. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Who are the rich? The Israelites, the Lord's people. And here's the point. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Everything is upside down, but not for long. When Yahushua cracks those clouds, it will be the rightful king. It will be the rightful kingdom established on this earth. Because right now it is folly set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. I will close off with this last precept. Book of 2nd Ezra 6 verse 9. Yes, the Apocrypha is part of the Bible. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Don't get it twisted. Let's go back to a little bit of a history for a second. Yes, I did say it was the last precept, but let's go back to a little bit of a history for a second here. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Let's go back into history for a second here. Book of Genesis. Who is Esau? And Esau hated Genesis 27:41. Sorry, that's actually the wrong. Yeah, but I'll repeat it again. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Here's the point. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. All the atrocities that have been done and have been committed to the Israelites by the hands of the Edomites. Today, they're calling themselves white and calling themselves black, calling us black. But here's the point. We got the receipts. Genesis 32, verse 28. Genesis 32, verse 28. And he said, the name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince thou hast power, Yasharallah, sons of the living power. I'll repeat that again. And he said, the name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, the progenitor of the Israelites, all 12 tribes, the so-called Negroes, so-called Latinos, so-called Native Americans. For as a prince thou have power with God and with men, and has prevailed. Okay? Get that one account. So here's another one. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and Esau's name was changed to Edom. Get that account in Genesis 25, verse 30. I believe it is. 1 second, bear with me. Genesis 25, verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage. He couldn't wait. He wants everything fast. Everything has to be fast. He wants fast food. Everything like today. Everything is at his fingertips. For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom, the progenitor of the Edomites. Yes, the so-called white man today. Yes, the progenitor of the Edomites. Esau's name was changed to Edom. Jacob's name was changed to Isaac. Israelites are being gathered. The elect today are being gathered by the preaching and hearing of this word. The tabernacle of David. Future kings and priests. With that, I will say shalom. I hope you've been edified. Till the next time, shalom. Shalom, Israel. Tawada Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Forgive me the spirit to do this lesson. We got next. Lord's willing. Abaratasa. Shalom, Israel.